recipes, we're going to talk about the walnut. So as I've said before, I'm not too keen on oils and oil products, but to have the oil in its whole food form is the best way to consume oils, and of course walnuts are high in oil. I once read a book on how to live to 150, and in this book it had the top 10 things to do each day to live a long and healthy life. And number one on that list was to eat at least 1 or 2 walnuts per day. So that's saying something. And when we look at the walnut, what does it look like? Okay, so normally the food you eat resembles an organ, and it's normally good for that organ. With the walnut, it's very good for the brain, for brain health. As well as that, it's also good for weight loss. It's a very good anti-inflammatory nut. It's good for your bone health. Of course, it's got the polyunsaturated fats, and it's got lots of minerals in there. And it's also good for the heart and high in vitamin E. It's comprised of about 65% polyunsaturated oil, it's about 13% carbs, and about 15% protein. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I've talked before about soaking nuts. What the soaking does, it takes off the inhibitors off the nut and allows it to come alive. So it's good to eat live food. Now with walnuts, we don't really want to take off that brown bit on the walnut, although it tastes a little bit bitter. That part of the walnut is very good for you. So what I do with my walnuts is I soak them for a couple of hours, or I soak them overnight. I drain them off and then I dehydrate them. And I tell you, normally I can eat 1 or 2 walnuts, and like I said before, they're a little bit bitter. But when you've dehydrated them, they just have this wonderful taste that you just want to keep eating them. And like I've said, even though there's 65% fat, it's all in its natural form. So we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. With whole foods, we know about the vitamins, the mineral content, but we don't know how the whole food works in combination with everything. There's probably trillions and billions of things that it does and works in conjunction with your body. So what I'm going to do with this is just drain off the water. Okay, so there I have my drained walnuts. Put that on the sheet for the dehydrator, and I'll dehydrate that overnight, and then I'll use them for my lunch. So I'll break them up into a couple of little packets, and that'll be my morning snack or afternoon snack, or just to pick me up. So I'll just put that in the dehydrator. Okay, so what I'm making today is a walnut chocolate fudge, a raw one. So, and as I've said before, these quick recipes are just for special occasions or for the odd time when you want something different. So it's not something you would eat as a staple. And of course, if you make all, you won't be eating the whole lot. I'm sure you'll share it around, or you'll have maybe 1 or 2 pieces of cake. Okay, so in this recipe, we've got 1 cup of walnuts, or natural walnuts. Don't get the flavoured ones or the salted ones, or whatever, just plain, organic if possible walnuts. Then we've got half a cup of cacao. I don't use as much cacao as I used to, but occasionally it's nice to have a chocolate recipe, so that's when I'll use that. This is the only thing with this. We've got half a cup here of melted coconut oil. And some people have talked about the benefits of coconut oil, but like I said before, I prefer things in their whole form, so maybe I could actually put in some coconut, would be a better idea. And I've got here half a cup of maple syrup, which just happens to be my favourite. Okay, now to finish that off, we'll put in some vanilla. We'll put about 2 teaspoons in there. This is a natural organic vanilla. And 2 really good pinches of salt, which brings out the flavour in the fudge. So what we need to do now is put the lid on and blend this up. Now what I've done here, I'm not quite sure how much this is going to make, so I've just lined a little lunchbox with some baking paper, and then I can just fold that in and put the lid on and put it in the freezer. So if I've got a lot here, then it will make a very high one, otherwise very thin one. Okay, so we'll just pour that in. Okay, so I think this is thick enough. So what I'll do is I've got a little bit left over here, so I'll put that in another little container. Like I said, we'll put that in the fridge now, in the freezer, sorry, so it stays nice and clean.